And welcome, everyone. Welcome to Friday night, February 28th, 2025. Oh, what a Friday it has been. I just can't even begin to tell you all the things that have transpired today. And some things are better left unsaid, but they may come up at a future time. But boy, it's really been an active day in this Delphi community. And you'll be finding out about it at some point. But welcome to everyone, and let me say hello to everyone before we get started. And tonight is called the Prof's Friday Late Night. McDouche Pickle at it again, and wow, do we have a night for you? We have some material to address, and I hate to tell you, all of you free Richard Allen people, you're not going to know how to take it. And I got to say, it's very complicated. This is a very, very, very complicated case and situation in which everybody has lied. And so that's where we are. But I just got to say, this is probably the only place where you're going to get the story straight. I'm going to deliver it to you straight. And I don't think you really get that anywhere else. So with that being said, we're going to enter some turbulent waters tonight. And so that's where we are. But Hey, this is a complex case, and so before we get started, though, I'd like to say hello to everyone and happy Friday to you. So let me say hello, first of all, first and foremost, to the first person here in the chat, and also my angel of a mod, my main mod, Amy, and she's posted the support pathways that are tagged tagged there at the top of the chat. Please support the channel. I'll tell you why a little later, but yeah, please hit the support pathways and support the channel. I have really good news for you, but I'll share it after we cover the bad material. Um, and anyhow, so shout out to Amy. And we also have Mark Ellis in here who says, hi, Prof in chat. Welcome, Mark. And we got Dawn Steele. Dawn Steele. Can someone send a link to get the membership? Well, Dawn, hopefully someone will do that for you. I know you're in the small channel. I don't know how to do the membership other than you might have to be on a computer, but I'm not sure. But thank you for asking for the membership. Let's see. We got Who's Your Daddy and Fur Baby Daddy. Two daddies. Look at that. Two daddies in the house. Fur Baby Daddy and Who's Your Daddy. And we got Lisa. Also, Aaron M. Town. As well as Kayla is my other main mod. Kayla's up in here. What's up, Kayla? We got Dennis McKean. What's up, Dennis? All right. Oleg Katz in the house, as well as Nancy Drew 101. What's up, Nancy Drew? Sarah's in, Deb's in. Pert in it. And we got Deputy Dog. What's up, Deputy Dog? All right. And we got Say What? What's up, Say What? All right. And what's up, Jim Chrisman? It floors me with all the attention this case has been getting. One would think they'd quit effing up. It's every little chance they get to show there's more corn than corn in Indiana. Hello, all. I tell you what, tonight you'll hear some criticism. I tell you that much. Okay. Who else is in here? McClellan looks like a nutcase. Yeah, you don't say. All right. Tony Hunt. What's up, Tony Hunt? Okay, and what's up, Smoky High? All right. Smoky High. And we got Dumplings Gammy. Hi, Prof in chat. I can't wait to hear the news of today. Got my grandbaby and just settling down for the evening just in time. Awesome. Welcome to the show. And hey, everyone who just is joining in to the show, please join the live chat if you're here for the live. It's pretty fun. And if you're in the replay crew, well, just go ahead and leave comments below and you'll get some chit chat going. We got Sweet Dude Shibby. That's Nick before the hair plugs, allegedly. What's up, Rebecca Ann, 1965? I heard Randy Gravitt was harassing you again. Troll Farm. He's the second fattest guy on the Troll Farm. Okay, what's up, Rhonda Holton? All right. And we got Sarah. Yeah, I kind of tormented you all with that pick while you waited for the show to begin, right? Mino Dino, what's up? You better be nice to everybody. Oh yeah, Amy's reminding all the newcomers to please drop into the chat and say hi. Please do. We love you here in the chat. Everyone's very nice. And for those who are not sweet, I get them the hell out of here. So you don't worry. You don't worry, you sweet little ass. Just join the chat. Okay. right. L'Oreal, welcome in. There's L'Oreal. Welcome. Welcome back, I should say. All right. Welcome in, Chris A. And we got Dieter and Murdane Willis. Well, that's a new face and name. Welcome, Murdane Willis. All right. Sweet dude says hello. You'll probably hear me say one or two of those tonight. All right. Who else we got in here? We got Hey Deb. What's up, Deb? Oh, Kate U's coming in. What's up, Kate U? Oh, we got one of my partners, the Court of Public Opinion. Of course, it's not his legal name, but he's a friend of the channel anyway. Okay, Jamie Blair, what's up? What's up to you? All right. Hey, Christina. All right, and Jennifer Huff, what's up to you? I want justice for Libby and Abby, no matter what. I mean, hey, the bottom line is no matter what, smoking high, no matter what. Oh, don't don't let appearances fool you. I'm not fresh and rested. I only look a little rested. I kind of laid down for 30 minutes before started the show because I needed to recharge a bit. No, I'm pretty beat. I believe the new letters are forged. No, 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 no. No, trial junkie. We're not going to do that. Look, we accept the truth no matter what it is. Uh, that gentleman is medicated. You understand? He has Tourette syndrome and possibly other things. So his handwriting is going to come in and out and be up and down. His mentality, everything. He's going to be like a roller coaster. Um, but I do. There's a lot more to say than about those letters than that they're forged. Okay. Um, what's up, Missouri Mimo of Nine? What's up, Sunflower Soul? The ads are in the live chat because I need your support, and not enough people support the channel with the cash apps and the buy me's of coffees and all of that stuff. Part of my good news is I have a brand new computer that I'm working on getting into this rotation, but now I have to buy a proper interface to interface with it. So the reason you have ads is because we need all the help we can get around here. So I apologize for the monetization, but I got to do what I got to do. Um, but hey, YouTube, there's some YouTube that's ad free if you support YouTube, and and if this channel ever gets enough support from the viewership, I can turn the ads off. It's just a click of a switch for me. All right. Plain Iron, what happened to the chat? I don't know. What did happen to the chat? Are you in the small channel or something? I don't know. Where are you, Plain Iron? You may be in the backup channel. All right. What's up, Ninja Warrior Assassin? How you feeling? It's my third show with the Prof. Oh, well, you're just new here. You're just new here, and welcome in, Smoky High. Yeah, we do a little straight talk here, so apologize if it's a little abrasive. You'll get used to it. We're nice. No, I pronounce words how I want to. You can stop correcting me. All right. Hit the like, please. Hit the like. Hit the like. Okay. Sandra Rowley, what's up? What's up, Sandra? And Josh Womack, what's up, Josh? Josh been leaving some nice comments around the channel. All right. Hey, Mar R. Heavy Metal Rehab, what's up? Plain Iron, what are you talking about? This is a fake channel. No, you must be on the backup channel. It's not a fake channel. What the hell, Plain Iron? Get with the program. Oh, for all of you new here, let me say this. Okay. Uh-oh, hold on. I got to deal with someone. I see. Oh, we got it. Well, who is that? Is that Randy Gravett with a brand new troll channel coming to harass Rebecca Ann? Oh, wow. Is that true? Is that true? Ratatat. I bet it's Randy. Randy, why are you stalking Rebecca Ann? Are you still mad about court? All right. Let's keep moving. Happy Friday, everyone. Well, he proved it. He just came in under a fake profile. Troll farm gonna do what troll farm gonna do. Jake Brooks, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing what? Hey, thank you, Mark Ellis. Okay. L'Oreal. All right. Sunflower. Minerva 79. You better not be that other Minerva who I had problems with a year or two ago. By that I mean Stephanie. All right. Sunflower. What's up? What's up, Sunflower? Welcome back to the days when we used to hang around. Yes, plain iron. Okay, let me let me explain it, plain iron. I have two channels. This is good for the newcomers too. I have two channels, the main channel and the backup channel, and I run them simultaneously. Okay, I run them simultaneously. So some people end up on that small channel with only two other people in the chat. Okay, so apologize if that's what happens. But I like casting a wide net. And thank you, Mar R, for pointing people in the right direction. Thank you. And a shot. What's up? TJ Bits, what's up? All right, Judith Galloway, what's up? Okay. And Heather Brown's coming in. Now, Heather Brown's my other main mod. What's up, Heather Brown? Heavy? All right. Steve Z Stubbs is coming in. What's up, Steve? Bonnie is in. What's up, Bonnie? And what's up, Sunflower Soul? I'm waiting on my email. Okay. Lynn Mai. Welcome into Lynn Mai. Welcome into anyone else. All right. I see people coming in. So thank you, Jane from the country coming in. Welcome in. It's a new day. What's up? It's a new day. What's up? Blessings galore. Yeah, I talked to Rick Snay today. He's pretty upset with the developments too. I'm sure he'll be talking about it soon. Yeah, we got to cover today's news. Well, the upsetting news, and like I said, the good news we'll leave for another time. But Alex Voorhees and I, we just had the greatest day today. I mean, you guys don't even know. Everyone is so kind here. Thank you for all the welcomes. Hey, TJ Bits. Okay. Don't apologize for the ads. Well, I'm trying not to, but we're trying to keep this channel stringing along, and there's been little cost. It's not a lot of cost, but there's been little cost, like the microphone, the interface. Now I have another computer because this one is so old. This one's a 2012 that I'm on. It's a 2012 MacBook Pro, and it's just about, it can't do anything anymore. So I finally invested in another computer, but then I'm having trouble because this computer, the new one is right here. It works fine, but the audio doesn't work. So either we have a new computer and bad audio, or we have the old computer with good audio. So until I get all the proper setup, we're still on this old computer. That's the lowdown. Okay. Jonathan Smith, what's up? Okay. Should I read it? I should read it. Okay, let's do the just so everybody knows, Rebecca Ann is a troublemaker coming into other channels under the name Adam Riley, and she is one harassing Randy Graffin. Yeah, sure. Rebecca Ann's solid. She's a gangster. She's an OG. She's my shero, and she's here because I choose her over yous to be here. So Rebecca Ann ain't going nowhere, but you did. All right. All right. Prof, what's the best way to support you without YouTube taking? Yeah, YouTube takes like 30% or so. Thank you. I like the Cash App that's tagged here. The Cash App. The Cash App gives me immediate, and they only take like 3% maybe. And then there's the Buy Me a Coffee that maybe takes 3 to 5%. But the nice thing about Buy Me a Coffee is you could do a little monthly contribution where you don't have to worry about it if you just subscribe to the membership, and it gives you like $5 a month or whatever it might be you want. So that's why I preferred the Cash App or the Buy Me a Coffee. So thanks for asking, Rebecca, but that's the straight answer. Okay, and Mark Ellis with the super chat. Thank you, Prof. This will help with your computer. Well, thank you very much. Wow, Mark, just thanks a lot. Mark is a executive club on this channel. He has helped us a lot every week. All right. Yes, thank you, Mark. Randy needs to get the sand out of his badge or whatever it is. Yes, thank you, Mark. Mark is just amazing. And he sends me emails too. So, okay. Oh, well, I'm getting you out of here. You know what? I'm getting you out of here because you're part of Troll Farm. Do you realize that? Because I know who you are, and I'm not going to be mean and dox you anything, but I know who you are. Listen, we don't, just so you know who I'm talking to. Listen, you've been very mean. You've associated yourself with a very mean Troll Farm individuals, and I don't know why you do that. I don't know why you choose. So it was you. Okay. I don't know why you choose to associate with troll farm individuals, but I assume it's because you like being mean. But if you don't realize what you're doing with troll farms, maybe send me an email and we'll work it out, and I can inform you of how evil the troll farm is and all they've done. But you associate with the cyber bullies, the cyber stalkers, the real life stalkers, and the people threatening to kill us for talking about Abby and Libby. And so, are you proud of that? Those people you associate with? So I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm telling you the straight. I'm giving it to you straight. $200 holler. Okay. Minerva says not it. So you're not Stephanie, and you're not the old Minerva. Okay, that's good. Well, you're welcome here. Okay. Who is referenced in the title tonight? It's the prosecutor. We're going to go over some documents. I know it's taking a long time. Yes, Randy Gravitt has done that. See, you're in denial. Maybe you should maybe you should email, and we will talk about the evil that the people you associate with have done. And obviously you're either unaware of it willfully, or you're just ignorant of all that they have done. But I'm serious. I watch you closely. Trust me. So all right. You know you're doing right when somebody goes through that much trouble to harass you. Weird when adults obsess over people they don't like. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Because look, with this troll farm, we have to be honest with each other. Okay, we have to be honest with each other, and I'm no longer where I'm going to bite my tongue about the shit these people have done. And if they start back up, they're going to start a war that they don't want, because we've got more than ever. So we're not even going to. It's kind of like you're bringing the whole direction. You're bringing this conversation a whole direction that I don't want it to go. Okay, because that's not why I'm here tonight. But For real, I think you need a reality check of all the people you associate with and all they've done. And we'll be nice to you, but that's just the way it is. Okay, it's called truth. This is a truth channel. Okay. All right. I went to the other channel too. Oh, you guys. It's easy. Look, if it says the Prof True Crime, it's the little small backup channel. So that's the deal, baby. Right. All right. All right. So can we get into it? Sending out smoke signals for Alex and Adrian. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna get Alex and Adrian in here if you keep fucking with me. I try not to go into that. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, the good news is, okay, here's the good news. The good news for you guys is that I have a smoking hot, brand new computer, and it's just waiting to get the audio. I needed the compatible audio setup so that because I don't want to have go back to the microphone that's built into the computer. Let me show it to you. Let's see. Let's see. Can you see that? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. There you go. Okay, so enough of that. Enough of that. I'm getting things lined up. I just have to get the audio together, and then we'll be streaming on the new computer, which should be nicer and easier to make videos. So that's my deal. What's up, Aaron? Aaron says, everyone is so kind. I agree. All right. Okay. All right. Go shit. What's up, Teresa? All right. All right, y'all. I think I'm getting through it. I'm trying to get through it. I'm fast forwarding. Yeah, I can do that. That's round of applause to Steve. Round of applause. I can turn the ads off, and I can totally go gray pubes. I can throw myself in jail and yell at all of you until you cough up $2.99 each, and then I can do it that way, or you can just have ads and hit skip when they come up. Oh my god, dude. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm getting through. She's in denial. Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be straight with you. Look, troll farm is a thing. And if you don't understand it and you don't agree with it, it just means you're ignorant or you're in denial. So everyone has to get educated on troll. Look, everyone who now understands thought I was nuts before they experienced it for themselves. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sunflower. Let's get on task. That's our subject for tonight. All right. All right. All right. So we're moving on. Okay, we're moving on. We are moving on. All right. So I've caught up with all of you. So thank you so much. All right. So thank you, Lynn. So tonight, here's what we're going to get into. Your favorite prosecutor and mine, Nicholas McClellan, has totally lost his mind. Okay. And we're going to demonstrate that to you tonight with all of the receipts. But first, let's introduce it. Okay. All right. So let's see. I'm going to bring this up. No. Wrong one. Okay. There you go. All right. So let's get busy. Let's get busy here. I love how someone with a troll account is going to fuss about someone else with the troll account. I mean, come on, man. This is from T Woody75 on Twitter. Also TW. He says, The state has filed a response. Wonder how many bullshit and lies will be in this response. And that pretty much sums it up, okay? That pretty much sums it up. All right. And then we had catastrophe. The catastrophe says McClellan inculpatory evidence of Rick Allen's guilt is the opposite of Brady material. Okay. All right. Good one. Good one. And we had the amazing Sleuty Goosey. She chimed in and said, Sleuty Goosey chimed in and said, Nick doesn't get to choose what he believes is exculpatory. Point number one. And look, these are great points. As always, she's on point. Okay. Number one, Nick doesn't get to choose what he believes is exculpatory or not. Right. Two, point number two about what we're getting into. It makes zero difference if the facts alleged by Davis are true or false, and Nick knows this. Okay, this has to do with Brady violations, basically. So whether this information that Reese Davis is providing is true or not is irrelevant. All right, so it makes zero difference if the facts alleged by Davis are true or false. And Nick knows this. Yes, he does. And his advisors know this too. Let's not kid ourselves here. Nick ain't doing too much on his own. Come on, you know. Number three, his obligations carry on all throughout the trial. So him receiving the letters during trial makes zero difference. Makes no difference with regard to whether he is responsible for turning them over. Again, Sleuty is just really laying down matter-of-factly. Okay. Another one. This one is going to make you guys furious. It doesn't matter if there's 8, 3, or 1 letter. It needed to be turned over. Okay? And what you guys are going to learn tonight, there are 8 letters, I believe, maybe even 9. Only 2 have been turned over. Oh, yeah. It's bad. It's bad. I bet you the others are destroyed. And we'll get into it. Okay. Number 5, who gives a F what Keegan Kline denies? Is he supposed to admit to something like he can't be charged? Exactly. So another point, Keegan Kline. And you know what I'm furious about here? All this time, you even have Holman. Remember Holman? Keegan Kline's a known liar, right? Keegan Kline's a liar. Keegan Kline's a liar. Nothing Keegan Kline says is a lie, is truthful. Keegan Kline's a liar, liar. Except now that it's beneficial to Nick's argument, he's posting Keegan Kline's words as the truth. Okay. 6, it's not Andrew Baldwin's job or responsibility to request info from the DOC to confirm or debunk. Another fact. Again, like you are going to be steaming mad tonight when we get into this filing. And number 7, the irrefutable proof is that Nick McClellan was accused of receiving exculpatory letters and not turning them over. And he admits to such in this motion he threw together, with a bit of help from his friends. And wait until you see that as well. You're going to be doubly furious. All right. And then look at Dark Side of the Mood down here, leaving a little snarky comment saying, I'm a big hater of prosecutors, so I hate watch every horrible, unethical case I come upon. And I still find Nick McClellan the most revolting of all time, despite never seeing him argue in court like the others. Do you understand Do you understand that? That's an amazing observation from someone who is a big hater of prosecutors, who hates, watches every horrible, unethical case, and still finds Nick McClelland the most revolting of all time. Never seeing him argue in court. And wait until this person becomes familiar with Judge Francis Gull. Yes, you think you hate McClelland, you're going to hate Gull. Anyway, these awesome, amazing people on social media are just so perceptive. All right, and then we got uh, I got a post from Kara Weineke because it's awesome. It's awesome. It says the state has filed a response to Richard Allen's motion to preserve Reese Davis's letters. Interesting tidbits. The state acknowledges receiving 3 letters from Davis and acknowledges not turning them over to the defense because Davis incriminates Allen. First, that's irrelevant to whether the state has a duty to turn the letters over. Second, the letters do contain potentially exculpatory information. Yes, Davis claims Allen is the third person, but Davis also claims that Ron Logan and Keegan Kline made statements to him that completely blow up the state's timeline of what happened on February 13th, 2017. Are you guys listening critically? Are you critical thinkers listening? Okay. Listen, first point. It's irrelevant to whether the state has a duty to turn letters over, whether it incriminates Allen or not. And secondly, Davis claims that Ron Logan and Keegan Kline made statements to him that completely blow up the state's timeline and the state's theory of what happens, of what happened. And you're going to learn that tonight because we're going to go through all of this. Listen. According to Reese Davis, the story that was told is those bodies were moved several times, just like we've said for all these years. Okay? Do you understand that? And so there's so much in these letters that were given. I just wonder what was in the letters that have been destroyed or that they're hiding. Okay? But what Reese Davis says is that Rick Allen, Ron Logan, and Keegan Kline participated in this, and that the bodies were moved several times. Okay, and we're going to get that in tonight, and that Keegan said yes, they staged the bodies at the end of it. Okay, but we'll be getting to that. Okay, so hopefully the dog doesn't get all excited. Sounds like he's already getting excited. So let's see what we're going to do. I guess what we'll do is yeah. And you got to understand, Miss Weineke is a professional. Okay, this is not like me or some other Joe Blow on the internet giving a willy-nilly opinion about legal matters. She's an expert. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves about her opinion. All right, so let's see. Gosh, there's receipts to share with you that you are just not going to believe. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, now This is the state's response, or McClelland's response, under the advisement of probably a handful of individuals, because neither one of these are smart enough to do anything themselves. Oh, come on, dog. McClelland's response to defendant's motion to preserve and produce specific evidence. Now comes McClelland and asks the court to deny the defendant's verified motion to preserve and produce specific evidence and their motion to set this matter for a hearing in their entirety. The state would ask the court to consider the following. Now remember, this is why these people are stupid, okay? None of this matters, okay? When you go to thinking, like, okay, let's back off and let's be realistic here. What do you think this judge is going to do? It's a given. It's pretty much a given what this judge is going to do. This judge is going to deny in its entirety, just like McClelland is requesting. But none of that matters because this is going into the record now, which is what matters. Okay. Now, so what we're going to do, we're going to baby step this. Okay. We're going to baby walk this because someone made a funny comment on somewhere today that I read that said, like, it was a smart ass. It was a smart ass on Twitter. He's saying that, so it's a thing to read legal documents and issue commentary these days. Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, so number one, that as the court has already outlined in its February 14th, 2025 order, that there is no authority for the defense to request that evidence be preserved by the state, and the state would ask the court to deny the same. Okay, so before I even get started, I gotta already interject. Let's not kid ourselves here. They've deleted years of evidence. You understand what I'm getting at there? Look, this is a cover-up. It's a big cover-up. It's a cover-up of epic proportions. They've already deleted most of the evidence that would be pertinent in this case. They're attempting now to delete evidence in the case. And I made a post on my community page about that. And some smartass came in to troll about it. Listen, the closing of these girls' estates feels to me like the attempt is to close the Google accounts and the iCloud account, because once those people are declared, once those estates are closed, there's no one to own those accounts anymore, which means Google can legally consider that person deceased and close it up entirely and possibly delete it all in the history forever. Same with iCloud. And listen, with that Google, you could go back years. You don't think the family, listen, the families have already had access to go into those emails and to see every email that those girls ever sent, to go into Abby's iCloud and see everything she ever did. You don't think they already went and sanitized that? But see, the thing is now it's open to investigators, so that if federal agents or some true investigators would go in there, they could do a thorough checking of everything associated with those Gmail accounts and that iCloud account. Once those are permanently closed, I think it may be damn near impossible to do so. So don't you think that they're trying to destroy evidence? I mean, they've already destroyed evidence. 2, that the defense in their motion also asks the state to produce specific evidence demonstrating exculpatory evidence for the defendant. No, it asked that you provide all the 8 or 9 letters and the video interview of Reese Davis. That's what they asked for specifically. But as you're going to find with this little weasel, okay, everything this little weasel does is an attempt to gaslight and then get around on a technicality by arguing a straw man argument. So he sets up these straw man fallacies and he argues against the point to get around the actual point by gaslighting. And what does this judge do? She just green lights everything. So no, they asked that you provide all the letters that were sent out by Reese Davis and that you received, and that you provide the videotaped interview of Reese Davis. Okay. 3, that the state has outlined in this previous filings, that the state has outlined this in previous filings, but discovery is evidence in a case that the state intends to use at trial, or evidence that tends to exonerate the defendant, referred to as exculpatory evidence. Not all information gathered in an investigation is discovery. Well, no, if you weren't trying to cover up this murder, you wouldn't have to be arguing your way out of this. And let's be clear here. There is absolutely clear evidence that multiple perpetrators committed this crime. Listen, if Keegan Kline is putting himself in this situation, and Ron Logan put himself in this situation, and others, let's not forget that, you motherfuckers out there. Let's not forget the YouTubers who put themselves in this murder. Okay? You guys are forgetting all the people who put themselves in this murder and were not investigated. Elvis Fields put himself in this murder, and he was not investigated. Brad Holder put Patrick Westfall in this murder, and they were not investigated. Are you getting where I'm going with this? Why did this law enforcement not investigate any of the people who placed themselves in this murder? See, you're going to have a problem when they come for you, McClellan. You're going to have a problem because you all are trying to bury the murders of 2 little girls in your state. Number 4, that most of what Reese Davis told attorney Andrew Baldwin is false. No, that's not pertinent to the point. What's pertinent is that he told Andy Baldwin that he did a videotaped interview and that he sent 7 to 8 letters, which you were required to turn over. And because you didn't, you committed multiple Brady violations. And when the appellate court looks at this, or the Supreme Court of the United States, they're going to have to acknowledge the fact that there were multiple constitutional violations. And that's where we argue. We don't argue for the innocence of Richard Allen because we have no way of knowing. We argue for the multiple constitutional violations that's piled up like a mountain. It's as high as a mountain. What was done to this man, whether or not he's guilty. Five, that attorney Andrew Baldwin had an opportunity to fact check the information that Reese Davis provided to him, but instead chose to put the information in a public motion without verifying its truthfulness. And that is what you are doing today with this motion. And that's what you're going to see, you viewers. You're going to see that momentarily, that Nick McClellan is now playing by that playbook. You're about to learn that. What he did today with these exhibits that he provides, you're going to see what he's doing. Okay, he's trying to play Andy Baldwin game. Okay, so he's arguing that Andy Baldwin put the information in the public context, blah 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 blah, just like he did with the Franks memorandum, and he's done several times. Remember, he tried to have Baldwin and Brad Rossi arrested over this, found in criminal contempt and jailed. But now he's doing the same thing. You're going to see. Okay, number 6, that the state contacted the Department of Corrections and had the department send a list of all outgoing mail from Reese Davis to the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office. Said list herein attached as State's Exhibit 1. That as the court can see from the list, Reese Davis did not send the state 8 letters. He sent only 3 letters. One letter October 4th, one letter October 15th, and one letter October 21st, all during or near the trial, the state of Indiana v. Richard Allen. It doesn't matter before or during the trial. But let's take a look at that, because I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but let's see. So he says October 4th, October 15th, and October 21st. Okay, so we're going to take a little detour. We're going to look at this. Look at this one. There's a mailing that goes out January 7th, 2025 to Jill Denman, attorney. Okay. Look at the next one. Huntington City Superior Court, Clerk of Court, 7/3/2024. Clerk of Court, U.S. Southern District Court, 7/21/2024. Okay. Get your notebooks. This is for your notebooks. U.S. Southern District Court, 105 Birch, Bath, 6/25/2024. U.S. Southern District Court, 105, 6/25/2024. It's a different one. Okay, a different mailing. Same recipient. Attorney Jonathan Little, attorney Saeed Little, LLC, 9/30/2024. Saeed Little, LLC, Jessica Wegg, attorneys, 1/22 or 11/22. It's hard to see what that says. 2024. Carroll County Prosecutor, 15/2024. Carroll County Prosecutor, 10/04/2024. Carroll County Prosecutor, 10/21/2024. Okay, so you see, here's what I'm thinking. Do all of those other letters, let me remove this and talk. Do all of those other letters pertain to the same subject matter? Because count how many there are. Okay, let me count for you. I did it earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, remember he said 7 or 8? Well, that's 10. So did he send 7 or 8, but some he sent to his attorneys, some he sent to the district court, and then some he sent directly to Carroll County? That's what it's seeming like to me. Now, let's move on, though, with this. Here's where the fuckery begins. Okay, the more fuckery. The state was able to recover 2 of the 3 letters sent from Reese Davis. Okay, so where's the other one? So where's that other one? And why would you delete that other one? Why have you disappeared? You see, the state of Indiana, once again, has disappeared something here. And what they've disappeared is a letter, probably because they don't like what was contained in that letter. Okay, because what I'm going to show you is going to blow your minds. Because it's just really fucking strange that the 2 letters that they were able to, quote unquote, recover. Wait until you hear these letters. Seems to me, just like with these witnesses in the Delphi murders case, they picked and chose witnesses. Remember, they deleted certain witnesses. They were picking and choosing interviews and evidence, and because you don't think that those 70 days of deleted interviews and evidence was intentional. You see, they disappear whatever's not becoming of their case, whatever would conflict with their case, and the way they tried to have this railroading that exercise like a sort of tunnel vision directly aimed at Richard Allen. They had to delete everything that would conflict with that. And I'm wondering, they claim that they've only seen the 3 letters from Reese Davis, but they've only provided 2, which leads one to believe, well, probably went ahead and deleted the 3rd one because it was bad. What if that 3rd one was one in which Reese Davis said, actually, I've learned new information, and now Keegan Kline is saying Richard Allen is completely innocent. He did not do it. Because that's what he told Baldwin. Okay, because Nick McClelland loves to fucking lie right in your faces. Go back to just a week or 2 ago, and we covered it. What was Reese Davis communicating to Baldwin? I mean, shit, if we have time at the end of the show, we'll go back through it. It's that Richard Allen wasn't involved. It's like a change of mind, okay? So it seems like, bro, did you go and delete that 3rd one because that 3rd one actually says something different than these 2 that you magically were able to find because they were beneficial to your cause here? And here he continues the gaslight. And let me say this. Well, let me read it and then I'll give my comment. Like I said, we're baby walking these. That the letters sent by Reese Davis are not exculpatory for Richard Allen and therefore are not evidence or discovery. That the letter, in fact, accuses Richard Allen of committing the murders. It is not exculpatory evidence for Richard Allen. It is inculpatory evidence for Richard Allen. Well, that's where you're full of shit, because it is exculpatory for Richard Allen. And you're going to hear that momentarily. It's exculpatory because it involves Ron Logan and Keegan Kline in these murders, and it involves an entirely different timeline and set of circumstances. It's really astonishing because the defense deserved this, because this conflicts with the state's theory. This conflicts with the state's timeline. The defense had a right to have it, to use it to defend Richard Allen. So it's really a huge gaslight for McClelland to try to act like, first of all, he's the judge jury and executioner when it comes to inculpable or exculpatory. Okay. The fact is, he's caught with his pants down and a little fucking penis is showing. And he's about to be in a lot of trouble for committing a Brady violation. So he has to try his hardest right now to try to wiggle his way out of this. And that's why it took these days. Were you wondering why all of these days it's been like crickets? We've been waiting for this response. Yes, you know why. Because it took all of this for them to come up with this fucking bullshit that we're hearing. All right. Number 10, that the letter dated October 4th, 2025 is titled Information on Keegan Kline and Richard Allen. The letter goes on to implicate Richard Allen in the murders, stating that he set up the meeting with the girls. Yeah, but there's no proof of it, brother. He is the one that killed the youngest girl. There's no proof of it, brother. And once the girls were killed, Richard Allen moved the bodies. There's no proof of it, brother. That in the letter dated October 21st, 2025, Reese Davis states that Ron Logan, Keegan Kline, and Richard Allen are responsible for the murders. Right, which is not Richard Allen alone. He goes on to state that Attorney Baldwin is an ignorant lawyer who is hinting me to lie for him and his client, saying that I should know how it is. That although the state has diligently searched all the evidence involved in the case, the state cannot locate or even verify that the second letter sent from Reese Davis was received by this office. That's no excuse. That's no excuse. You see, saying you never got it is like saying, oh yeah, you sent me that Cash App? You sent me $100? Yeah. Well, I never got it. So whatever that bike I sold to you, whatever, you're gonna have to send me another 100. You're gonna have to pay me again because I never got that first time. I mean, all of you, I'm sure all of you talked to a crackhead or time or two. You know how crackheads will do it, you know. All right, so let's take a pause here. Let's take a pause and let's do the work. Let's do the hard work. I know you guys are down for it because you're here to listen and enjoy the chat. So, and by the way, all of you who are just lurking, come on, enjoy the chat, but put your listening ears on. Okay. All right. What's up, fellas? Thanks for coming into the chat. Grew up with all of these players on both sides. My cousin is best friends with Nick, and let me tell you, he's a total piece of shit. And wow, could I say more? Yeah, I've heard more. I've actually heard more. But thanks for chiming in on that. Please tell us more. Please do. All right. I'm going to get with it, y'all. Hold on. Michael Sear says, I really miss those old school crackheads. new addicts are really fucked. Yeah, true. I mean, hey, the old school crackheads were somewhat what's the word? They were somewhat shit, you know, somewhat likable. You could they were tolerable. You could tolerate them. You can like them. You could feel sympathy, empathy for them. Oh, that's just my partner, the crackhead, and you laugh at them, and you know how they roll. They're never going to bite your face off or anything. They're just crackheads. But yeah, these new people, these new folks on the Fent perks and shit, you got to watch out for them. I mean, they'll do bad shit. All right, so let's see what we got here. I got to get on this, and trust me, I'm great at cursive. Yeah, yeah. At least crackheads will clean your gutters, walk your dog, wash your truck, sell your truck, whatever. Wash my car, $10, bro. Okay, 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 okay. All right, all right. All right, so this says information on Keegan Kline and Richard Allen, and I'm gonna read it to you. So don't stress your eyes on this. I'm just putting it up for the troll farm because they love to say that we're not presenting what we're presenting. So we always put the receipts up. Yeah, crackheads don't kill kids so much. Thanks, Four Pits. Okay, it says, my name is Reese Davis. I am incarcerated at the Newcastle Correctional Facility. I wasn't comfortable writing for fear of not being taken serious. However, this has to be heard. There are several aspects that at first may seem all over the place. However, if I don't explain it all, you'll get confused. So forgive me. I'll do my best here. Well, hey, bud, it's Delphi, dude. Like, maybe you don't understand, Reese Davis. This is Delphi. Everybody fucking lied. From the family on up to Doug Carter. You understand? Everybody lied. And 90% of the YouTubers. Okay, so let's get started. He says, back some years ago, a man named Ron Logan came here to Newcastle, and I daily conversated with him. And a lot of things he opened up about made my ex girlfriend contact the FBI, trying to do the right thing, say the least. Fast forward until now today. And by the way, the date is shit. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. This is the state's exhibit too, so we'll go back and read the date from. Well, let me read it to you because we're thorough here. Let's see. State's exhibit 2 is dated October 4th. October 4th, 2025. Okay. There we go. So he says there also has been another guy who was transferred here from another prison back in early March 20, and that's hard to read. It must be 2019, by the name of Keegan Kline. For the last 6 months, he seemed to need a friend and quickly, very recklessly, began to talk of, quote, beating the system. Okay, so Keegan Kline's talking about beating the system. Sounds right. Okay. And let me say this. I know about Keegan some things that you don't know. And I know about how he talks. I've sat in on some conversations with him. You understand? That's exactly something Keegan would say. So yeah, so far we're hitting on 1,000 here. So Keegan Klein's talking to him very recklessly and is talking about, quote, beating the system. Keegan Klein's also saying, glad it is Richard Allen who is caught up. However, feared he was run his mouth. Okay, so glad so Keegan is trying to beat the system and he's glad that it's Richard Allen who's caught up, but fears he might run his mouth. Okay. Note, I am in a protective custody unit with 98% child molesters. And trust me, the people speak and brag on their cases as if it's a cool thing. I am here on drug charges. However, Keegan Klein assumed I must have a sex case and began talking, and I slowly took information as he appeared to build trust with me. Oddly, since an earlier report by my ex-girlfriend was made regarding Mr. Logan, out of nowhere this lawyer pops up to visit me, Richard Allen's lawyer, Baldwin, or something, wanting to know if I would come testify on Richard Allen's behalf regarding Logan. I told him no because I already planned on contacting you, knowing the information to do with Klein. I never told him about Klein because the information involved Richard Allen. Keegan Klein and Ron Logan, although he has now passed, as you know. Okay, so what I'm saying is, so far, it sounds 1,000. Okay, it sounds 1,000, spot on. I mean, is anyone having issue with that? Okay, I'll just continue. I will now explain what Klein has told me, and I'll share the evidence he informed one of or informed me of. So you see, I'm doing this in good faith. Let me also say this. It sounds like Reese's trying to help these two little girls. Does it not to you? Now, look, I know some of you are butthurt. Okay, I know you're butthurt. I know you're Richard Allen lovers. I know you have this agenda to say Richard Allen is totally innocent. I don't. Okay, my agenda is truth. And I'm going to look at everything and I'm going to cross reference it and compare it with what we already know. And so I'm not going all this route of I'm going to try to explain away. Okay, now, as we get into this, you're going to understand why some of this is feeling legit. Because remember, this is all coming from Keegan Klein. You gotta get your fucking minds right. This is all coming from Keegan Klein. Okay, so let's get into it, and I'll interject then when we get to the point. Keegan told me him and his dad were working a hustle from this back page, making big money from child images. Every 6 months, they bought burner phones for clients, And Richard Allen and Logan were two of them and received new phones from Keegan. From what I was told, they done a lot of trading too. All right. So let me say, that checks. That checks as far as what I know from behind the scenes about what people in contact with Keegan were also saying, that Keegan was selling these phones of minors preloaded as a side hustle. All right. So it checks. The only new thing in this is that Richard Allen is one of the clients. But it's not really new, because if you go back to Holly Lowry, she's been saying for 2 years that Keegan's been saying this. Okay? So it's also not new. So what you can put in your notebooks, or you can check off your list, is that Keegan's been saying this. Okay? Keegan's been saying that he was selling burner phones with porn of little kids to people, and that Richard Allen was one of them. Let's continue. I am told they all had their hands in this murder. And this is where it's kind of hard to read this, but it looks like it says, and feels relieved someone has the fall who isn't going to talk. Hey, timeout trial junkie for 15 minutes, please, because she's going to have to calm down. Look, you're not here to argue with me about Richard Allen tonight. So go take a chill pill. Okay, because if you're arguing against what I'm presenting, I'm going to time you out. So 15 minutes, go take a chill pill. All right. You see, because when you fucking argue with me when I'm making a presentation, you're distracting me. I'm already distracted, which means you're derailing the presentation. Why don't you just sit back and take it in, and then everyone will make their decisions later? This Allen guy sold a firearm to Keegan for these burner phones he supplied. Okay, so let's stop there. Let's stop there. That's actually an interesting claim, because that's something that would seem like could be fact checked. In other words, the onus should have been on law enforcement to check up on that. Okay? So, Aaron, I'm going to time you out. Look, we're not fucking yelling about, you know what? We are not going to argue about Rick Allen tonight. All right? If you want to fucking love Rick Allen, go marry him. I'm not arguing with any of you about Rick Allen. If you're obsessed with Rick Allen, be obsessed with him. Go be obsessed somewhere else. Okay, this is not about loving Rick Allen. This is about, we're going to get to the brass tacks of what this is tonight. And if you can't handle it, don't be here. I ask you not to derail me, and you do it consistently. Get a grip. Back to my point. If Rick Allen sold or traded a firearm to Keegan Klein or Tony Klein, that seems like it would be something that could be fairly easy to investigate if you were an actual police officer or state police officer or FBI trying to solve this crime, right? That would be tangible proof of some connection between the two parties. And there would have to be an explanation. Why was this transacted? So if we're extracting value from this, that seems like it would be one that should be listened to. Time out, Aaron Town, for 10, 15 minutes. You guys want to fucking argue? Listen, argue your fucking hearts out. If you can't handle discussing, like you're just as bad as a troll farm. You're just as bad as a troll farm if you cannot handle even considering what's being presented. You don't want to know the fucking truth. I knew it'd be this way. You guys have a lot of cognitive dissonance. I'll turn the fucking chat off and I'll keep going because you're distracting me. Richard Allen sold a firearm to Keegan for these burner phones he supplied. Okay, back to where I'm going with this. That should have been checked. That should have been checked. That seems like something that could be checked. Seems like if our defense had actually done a decent job, which they did not, let's not kid ourselves. That's another thing. If you also believe the defense is flawless and they exercise this case perfectly, then you're also in delusion land because the defense fucked up majorly. They're still fucking up. Anyhow, when it comes to an alleged firearm transacting between Richard Allen and the Kleins, that's something that should be checked out. Okay. Furthermore, Keegan somehow had the Abby girl victim take pictures of herself and traded them between the three: Allen, Keegan, Logan. All right, let's stop there. Yes. Okay, yes. Now here's where it gets complicated. What's a fact, Prof? Abby was sending nudes to boys. Okay, it's a fact, and if you can't handle it out there, then you don't want to hear the facts of this case. We know Abby was sending nudes around. Okay, it's factual. Now, just think, if someone hiding behind a fake account was receiving those nudes in addition to other ones who were not behind fake accounts, the question is, how did Keegan end up with them? Because we do know a few things about the whole thing, right? We know that Kelsey and her friends were hiding behind fake accounts, pretending to be boys. Could they have been soliciting nudes from these girls in some sort of mean girl, crazy conspiracy way? And what about the exchange of money between this side and that side? You guys know that story. What about the exchange of money? Someone out there, let's talk about the exchange of money going between Anthony Schatz or Keegan or whoever on that side and these little girls. Because remember, with these accounts, you don't know who's behind the accounts. So say on the bad guy side, on the Anthony Schatz side, or the fake account, the troll accounts, the catfishing accounts, you don't know who's behind those accounts because anyone could be logged into those accounts using those accounts. But someone hiding behind those accounts are soliciting nudes from Abby and Libby. Abby and Libby are giving up the nudes. So there's this exchange. There's also the exchange of money. Okay, so there's something major there. And you know what the fucked up part about this is law enforcement never thoroughly investigated that angle. And the family never wanted that investigated. I mean, I honestly believe that that's what a lot of the deleting was. Remember the stories about we deleted embarrassing things from Abby and Libby's accounts? What do you think that was? I mean, let's be honest here. Because we have had several guys from the community, little boys at the time, come out and say, yes, they were sending us nudes. So once again, I'm saying when we're listening to this information that Keegan has passed on to Reese Davis, we have to evaluate it soberly and look at it and say, what's actually being said here? Keegan somehow had the Abbey girl victim take nudes of herself and traded them. Well, yeah, that checks. And I've said so many times, it's those girls sending nudes that got them on the radar of the people who ended up being responsible for their deaths. Now, however, what's upsetting many of you is this is when Alan's coming into this. Whereas you want to look at Alan as completely innocent, not connected at all whatsoever, never was, never will be. It's just he's totally innocent and not at all connected to anyone in this. And I don't have that agenda. My agenda is to look at everything as it is and try to see what is what. Now, what Keegan is claiming, or what Reese Davis is claiming that Keegan has relayed is what follows. Okay. The nudes were traded between Alan, Keegan, and Logan. Well, let me just say this. If there's something true to that, if there's some truth to that, let's just say this. It will not just be Alan, Keegan, and Logan, because I need all of you to understand this. There's absolutely no way on earth that if this is the case, that it's just Alan, Keegan, and Logan. Ain't happening. Because if it's just Alan, Keegan, and Logan, then how do we have little young men from the community coming to tell us that they were also receiving nudes from these girls? So, although here in this story that Reese Davis is relaying, it's Alan, Keegan, and Logan, I guarantee you it's more. And Alan may or may not be involved in it. We don't know that factually yet. There's no proof of it other than these claims. But Keegan has been claiming this for 2 years. This is the first you've heard of it. But this is what Keegan has been telling people behind the scenes. Okay. But this is where it gets, let's just pause. Okay, let's pause and take this in. because I'll read from the letter here. Let me actually throw it up here. He says, Richard Allen set up meeting the girls with Logan. Well, let me stop there. False. I don't see that doesn't ring true. Now, unless the only way that would ring true is if Richard Allen was the second user of the Anthony Shots account. Because remember, Jerry Holman, he came out and said, yes, the Anthony Shots account lured the girls out there that day, arranged to meet them out there that day. So we can definitively pretty much say and assume that, yes, the second user, one of the users of the Anthony Shots account, caused the girls to come out there that day. Well, what is Reese Davis saying? Reese Davis is saying Richard Allen set up the girls. Richard Allen set up meeting the girls with Logan. However, they met at Logan's home drinking. Logan and Keegan met up with the girls as Allen was at the farm. Keegan had the firearm and Logan had a carpet knife to scare the girls. All right, so let's pause there. What's a carpet knife? It's a box cutter. Okay, I think. They walked the girls back to the house where Allen waited. So once again, Allen set up meeting the girls with Logan. However, they met at Logan's home drinking. Logan and Keegan met up with the girls as Allen was at the farm. Keegan had a firearm and Logan had a carpet knife to scare the girls. They walked the girls back to the house where Allen waited. Or again, guarantee you then, if that would be true, they weren't walking through the creek, right? Linda Kay, listen, we're not coming in here arguing. We're not arguing, Linda Kay. Please don't come in here arguing. All right, let's see. I was unsure about the story being a lot of details. However, I pretended interested over time. Here are some details only the killers would know, and make yourself so you can weigh the information out. He informed me him and Allen moved the bodies 3 times. And they were not killed where the girls were found. All right, let me comment on that because that's really fucking weird to me. Because how many times over these past 2 years have I said here, those girls were moved more than once? Those girls were moved multiple times. Now, here's what I differ here, though. I do believe Libby was killed on the spot. So that's interesting because I believe Abby was moved multiple times, but I believe Libby was just moved once because she was killed there and dragged a little ways. So there's reasons for that, though. First of all, you ain't moving Libby's dead body. She's very heavy. You could easily move Abby's dead body. Okay. Also, Abby's dead body would not be bleeding much. Libby's dead body would be bleeding profusely. Furthermore, there's evidence that Libby was killed at the scene because if you remember all the testimony from trial, Libby, there's evidence that she was walking around in her own blood and also sitting up in her own blood. And so with Libby, it's very pretty apparent that she was killed right there. So I feel that Abby was brought to the area and probably moved a couple times. Libby might have been forced to be moved a couple times living, and then at her last place, she's there at the crime scene, then they kill her. Okay. All right. Now listen, this is where it gets real fucking interesting here. He says they were not killed where the girls were found. He said they staged the scene, whatever that means. The youngest girl was kept alive longer, and Alan didn't want to kill her, but Keegan made him because it was too late. He said they all got nervous leaving town in their own cars out to Lafayette to get rid of evidence. Again, there's a little weirdness about that, but listen, we've always said how it's so interesting how the girls are separately treated. Remember? In other words, Libby's completely nude. She's very disrespected. She's very brutally treated. Whereas Abby is fully clothed, basically. She's not brutally treated. She's just got one wound. It's a very different treatment. And I always felt that they killed one because they had to. In other words, they killed one because one was already injured very badly or dead. That's always been my theory. So this kind of aligns with it, but I don't know about the whole details don't make that much sense. But like I said, we're just taking this in. We're just taking it in. I honestly don't see him making all this up. However, if it appears he did for some sick reason, just dismiss this letter. If by chance it seems to meet the evidence you are dealing with, you are welcome to come speak with me. To be honest, I'm only comfortable speaking with you for the moment. Please understand, as the snitch label is real in prison. However, I will talk to you for the time being. P.S. I also saved a note from Keegan. He wrote on lockdown that don't say a lot, but he talks a little in it. Um, Well, some with if you want it, let me know or something. It's a little PS he puts on, but so what is my take on this one? Okay. On this one, it sounds 100% legit. In other words, I don't see him trying to get anything out of this, or it seems like with this one, he's legitimately concerned. He's sending it out. Okay, based upon what Keegan told him. Remember, this goes back to Keegan Klein, Chubby. Okay, so this is what he's told by Chubby. Now, let me just, before I continue, let me say this. You know why I think McClellan released this one? Because of the claims made about Richard Allen's involvement. That's absolutely why. Otherwise, he would have deleted it. Okay? He would have deleted it. So he released this one because it says Richard Allen was receiving child pornography. Richard Allen lured the girls out there. Richard Allen killed the girls, blah, blah, blah. That's why he released it. Okay? Don't get it twisted. So again, when it benefits him, he's going to publicly release it like this. Okay. Now let's continue. There's another one. All right. It says, Dear McClelland, if you will look back on record, the same information now being released, the evidence I done reported. I reported that the girls were cut up and their throats cut back in 2018. I reported the girls were moved and hidden in a barn and drove around until the search started. I reported that Mr. Logan left town, leaving the girls with two others until he got back because Logan got nervous. Now let's pause there because we're going to take this piece by piece. So what's interesting about that so far? Housebroken? Now, I'm going to argue with you. I am going to argue with you because look, if you motherfuckers want to be in denial, you can be in denial. You can be in denial. They're not going to release a total fabricated letter where he can come and dispute it after the fact. We got to get you guys got to get your sanity. You got to get your wits about you. Okay. Now, yeah, they probably have 7 or 8 and they chose these 2 to release because they have bad things in them. But you guys got to get your fucking thinking caps on here. This is not this type of cover up. They're not making up fucking fake letters out of thin air because that can be disputed. You just have to be willing to put aside your prejudices, your preconceived notions, and all of this shit, and your loves for Richard Allen or whatever, and understand what this says. And look, I'm going to keep fucking deleting you. It's not about your intuition, your feelings, or nothing like that. This is about if you can't accept new information and just evaluate it, it ain't fake. Okay, he wrote these letters just like he probably wrote fucking 7 others. McClellan chose these 2 because they're really bad looking for Allen. And like I've always said, how do you know he wasn't involved? Is he your girlfriend, your husband? You're not in his head. You weren't God watching over. We don't know anything about Allen other than like we know he's railroaded. That's why I'm here. And I knew this would be hard with you all tonight. But you want to argue with me instead of letting me present the information. Look, Allen's railroaded. It's the reason that I speak out, because I believe in the Constitution. Yes, Reese Davis wrote these letters, because any fucking prosecutor who'd be willing to put these letters up and claim that he wrote them, knowing he can come behind and say he did not, would be getting himself into a world of trouble. So he wrote the letters. Just cope with it. Yes, cope. Okay. Now the deal is, remember, this ain't coming from Reese Davis. This is coming from Keegan Kline. And Kayla makes a good point. Remember, FBI always did say those girls were at Ron Logan's house at 1 p.m. Maybe you guys, like, I don't care how you feel about Richard Allen. I don't. All right. Like I said, I was trying to get through this and it's just fucking impossible. See, I can't even remember the point I was making with this. I'll just move on. Recently, as I previously wrote, I learned now the last 5 months who else was involved. You have one and Keegan Kline. Okay, let me start over. I've got to calm down because I'm getting fucking flustered over here. Listen, but I'm gonna fucking block you. You guys need to fucking drink some copium. Okay, as I priorly wrote, I learned now the last 5 months who else were involved. You have one now and Keegan Kline. If I ever had 5 minutes to explain, you would see they all three are involved. I offered the detective who came to see me in 2018 just to put a wire on and let them conclude for themselves what all Logan was saying. McClellan, they declined the offer, which made no sense when it was a perfect opportunity, as it is a perfect investigation tool for 2 reasons. First, it would provided the information from the source, and to eliminate of misinformation, as the reality of trusting an inmate's credibility is within danger zone. I get it. The problem was the detective and examiner came with the mindset of not willing to believe me before I even spoke. Okay, let me stop there. This is important, and I'm glad we can get back to. So basically, what he's saying is that I'm concerned, I cared, I wanted to talk and give information straight from the source, and I even offered to allow them to polygraph because it's a useful tool and it would eliminate misinformation. And I know that the reality of trusting in an inmate's credibility, because it's a danger zone, I get it. But look, listen what he says, though. Okay, this is where it's important. The problem was the detective and examiner came with the mindset of not willing to believe me before I ever spoke. Now, here's a point to put in your notebook, right? Reese Davis claims to have all this information from Logan at the time. This is what he's referring to back about Logan. He wants to talk to them. So the detective and the polygraph examiner come to him and they have a fucking attitude and they don't even want to believe him before he even speaks a word. Are you catching what he said there? Steve, you're going to have to cope with it, brother. Listen, you're going to have to cope with it. Now he's going to explain further. I have a disability of Tourette syndrome as it provokes my nervous system. And I take several medications for treatment. And they gave me no chance to explain these facts. That is the reason I just simply offered to just put a wire on and allow it to be recorded. Okay, again, he's saying what I said earlier. He's on medication. He has Tourette syndrome. He's like a roller coaster. His mind's going up and down. His emotions are going up and down. You get what I'm saying? So he's relaying that that's part of the problem with his whole vibe and with the polygraph and et cetera. But that these cops, they didn't even want to believe him before he even opened his mouth. They didn't want to hear the facts or what he had to say. They didn't even want to hear that he was on medication or that he had Tourette syndrome. They came with an agenda, is what it's telling me. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. And remember, if they're trying to cover up these, I want you to think out there, because when I look at the troll farm, I try to understand. I try to understand very clearly by what the troll farm is concerned about and what they're afraid of. I try to understand what reality is. The troll farm does not want you at all to connect Ron Logan or Keegan Kline to these Delphi murders. Do you fucking understand that yet? Or are you still in fantasy world? Listen, the troll farm, just like the state of Indiana and the ISP, does not want you to connect the Delphi murders to Keegan Kline, to the Dropbox, or to Ron Logan. Are you understanding that? That's why when they went to interview Reese, they didn't want to hear what he had to say about Ron Logan. And they weren't believing because it wasn't on their agenda to go ahead and gather evidence on Ron Logan. And they never wanted Keegan Kline connected to this because Keegan Kline connects to the Dropbox, connects to the sextortion, the sex trafficking, the CSAM, the whole sex clubs, all the cult shit that we've been talking about that you guys still haven't caught up with yet. Okay. Back to this. Fast forward. Did you notice a pattern yet? He likes saying fast forward. he likes saying fast forward. Okay, fast forward. He said that in a previous letter. Okay. I was visited by an attorney, Andy Baldwin, who is representing Richard Allen about 2.5 months ago. I didn't know who he was. However, he stated he was investigating past reports and my name come up. He informed me that the information I gave in 2017 lined up with the actual evidence of the murder scene. Okay, let's pause there. So Andy Baldwin goes in cold calling, right? He goes in cold. And he says, the information, I'm following up on the investigation on past reports, and your name came up because the information you gave in 2017 lines up with the actual evidence from the murder scene. Okay. And he says, he asked if I would come to testify at this trial. Okay. I told him no. And the reason was knowing his client Keegan Kline and Ron Logan are all involved. Long story short, I wasn't going to help because I was planning on reporting the information to your office. Okay, sounds legit. Sounds legit, right? Mr. McClellan, this ignorant lawyer was hinting to me to lie for him and his client, saying that I should know how it is. Please hear me out. No, I can never relate to child killers. I don't know what planet this attorney is on. It felt insulting in a way. Okay. Once again, that's kind of weird because we don't know what Baldwin said to him other than the previous, right? What he just said is that Baldwin came in cold. Baldwin said, I'm following up on the investigation. The information you gave in 2017 lines up what's found at the crime scene. But he's saying that the lawyer is hinting to lie for him, saying I should know how it is. So we don't know regarding what, but no, I think he should know how it is for these crooked ass cops in Indiana to do what they've done. Okay, because clearly, like, listen, I've done hundreds of maybe thousands of hours on these devils in Indiana. So yeah, I think Reese should know how it is. Okay. He says, he indicated this occult issue. He is far from right because Kline told me they staged the scene because Ron knew they were coming after him because by the time they were killed, the police was everywhere and through the night, and there was no way to get the girls out of the area. Now, wow. Let me just stop there too. That right there is a paragraph of the fucking year. For all of the thousands of pages of documents and the words we've read, that paragraph right there is real alarming, and it's something to think about. And if you guys are going to wipe the slate and clearly, critically think about what's being put forward here, not saying you got to judge it prematurely or anything, let's read that paragraph again and really pause for every piece of it, because for me, there's something about that paragraph right there that rings true. And listen, this doesn't mean Richard Allen is involved. Get your panties out of a bind. Okay, get your ass calmed down. You got to understand, this could mean Keegan Kline is definitely involved. See, what all you Richard Allen lovers out there are failing to understand, this says more about Kline than it does with Richard Allen. But let's just review. Okay, remember, this is coming from Kline. So he says, he's referring to Baldwin. He says he indicated this occult issue, meaning the Odinist or the sacrifice or the runes. And he says he is far from right because Kline told me they staged the scene because Ron knew they were coming after him. Well, let me stop there. First of all, it doesn't make sense to me because you're leaving two dead girls on your body. I think they would come after you. Yeah, I would say it's pretty much a given, right? Pretty much a given. Anywhere in the United States, two dead bodies are found on someone's property, that person would be looked at, right? I mean, in your backyard. Let me just say, let's pick a name out of the Sandy D. I'll pick Sandy. Okay, Sandy D's in the chat. Sandy D, if two little dead girls are found brutally slaughtered in your backyard, Do you think you might be looked at and you might be in a world of trouble? Anyhow, this is the interesting part here. Listen to this piece. Because by the time they were killed, the police was everywhere and through the night, and there was no way to get the girls out of the area. Ooh. Ooh. You know what? That rings true to me, but there's some complications with that. Listen. Complication is, first of all, that destroys the state's timeline, doesn't it? If they were alive by the time they were killed, I mean, if they sorry, this is difficult. Okay, this is a lot. If they were alive by the time the police were everywhere, because let's read it again. Because by the time they were killed, the police was everywhere and through the night, and there was no way the girls to get out of the area. So that's saying the search had already started by the time the girls were killed, which means those girls wasn't killed at 2:32 p.m. Which is weird because it means Richard Allen didn't kill the girls. You see where it gets weird? If Keegan is saying that Ron knew they were coming after him because by the time they were killed, the police was everywhere and through the night, and there was no way to get the girls out of there, that means those girls were killed overnight and there was no way to get them out of there, which is why they were dumped there. It was convenient because there were people everywhere. It was crawling with cops and searchers. Kind of like we've been saying. That those girls were taken somewhere else. Remember what the theory I've always been pushing. Those girls were taken somewhere. Those girls were brought back under the cover of darkness during the so-called search at about the time you heard those blood-curdling screams. Between then and the phone pinging, that means between 2 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. So I'm saying, like I'm saying, this is complicated. This, if you think the Delphi murders are simple, you're special. Okay. This is a complicated thing, but this doesn't mean that elements of truth are not coming out. And if Keegan Kline knows the fucking truth, how do you know that Keegan's not just throwing Richard Allen's name in it because it was convenient at the time to make the heat get off of him? But the interesting thing is that McClelland's presenting this to implicate Richard Allen's guilt and saying it's not exculpatory. But listen, isn't that fucking phrase exculpatory? Look, that's exculpatory. Kline told me they staged the scene because Ron knew they were coming after him because by the time they were killed, the police was everywhere and through the night, and there was no way to get the girls out of the area. That sounds exculpatory to me. We don't know. We don't know legally. We're just taking in information. This has to be. See what my claim is here is this was never investigated. The reason it was never investigated, this opens up the biggest investigation in Indiana history into CSAM, child abuse, human trafficking, and the murder of children, and a whole bunch of can of worms that they don't want opened. But you know what? Our current FBI wants it open, and maybe it will be opened. And he says, I hope that we can speak because although Logan has passed away, the other two need to face consequences. I've been afraid that I'm not taken serious and Keegan will somehow get off and not see his day in court. Okay. Which tells me he ain't no Keegan Kline lover. I pray wholeheartedly you'll allow me to explain everything so you can compare the information to validate. I don't expect to be believed. However, you compare the information. Thank you. And as I promised, I would send the note Keegan wrote, and I'll send it with this. But you guys got to stop calling Keegan Klein a liar because here's the thing. This is where it gets weird with the state, right? And this is what we'll get into next, because saying he's a liar doesn't fix anything. It doesn't fix anything. I mean, I could call any one of you a liar. Saying you're a liar doesn't fix anything. Facts matter, investigating matters, following up matters. No, there's no sinister plan, lead with love. No, I just read for you in the previous letter. He said he was going to send. Remember the PS I wrote? This isn't a sinister plan with Reese Davis. Reese Davis appears to me to actually care, and he's concerned, and he's trying to get, like he says, he's not a chomo or a child killer. He's a drug head. Look, Reese, why is Reese Davis in there? Reese Davis is in there because of drugs, just like other people I've known. Okay, he's in there with the chomos and the child killers. So he's concerned and he's trying to get this through. He's trying to do the best in his mind, which at the time was give it to the prosecutor. But notice what he's done subsequently, right? He's been giving it to Baldwin. Okay, so you guys we take in everything in a sober fashion. We look at everything. We try to figure out what's going on. Now, let's look at this, because this is going to make your heads explode. Oh, you are going to be mad. You are going to be mad. All right. I was. You know what? I might take bets. Okay, let's see. I got to get this on the screen. Hold on. All right. All right. So look, boy, this shit's going to piss you off. Oh my God, this pissed me off. um, Now, Nick. Oh, let's go back to this actually. Okay. Sorry. Trying to keep everything in order here. I get a little disturbed with arguing with the chat, but I'm back. I'm back. I think I'm back to my even keel here. Let's see. He says, James Winters. Okay, remember James Winters? We just presented that. James Winters did call the prosecutor's office in October, on October 15th and near October 21st, to verify that this office had received letters sent by Reese Davis. However, at that time, he did not indicate how many letters that Reese Davis sent or who he sent them or when he sent them. He just called to confirm that the state had received some letters from Reese Davis. Well, first of all, where's the proof of that? Are we to take your word for it? Are we to take your word for it? I think we're supposed to take his word. So now we're supposed to take McClellan's word, or whoever's answering the phones in his office, because I'm going to guess there's no transcript or no verified evidence of that claim. Further, he indicated to this office that both Keegan Klein and Reese Davis had been subpoenaed by the defense to testify at trial against Richard Allen. The state's response to motion to correct error. In there, the state referred to the evidence that Reese Davis supplied attorney Andrew Baldwin as not matching the physical evidence found at the scene. The state therefore finds the information that Reese supplied is not credible. Bullshit. Bullshit. Okay, you know why he's saying that? Because Reese's claiming the bodies were moved several times. You see where the gaslight is? Like this son of a bitch is in a predicament. He's in a predicament right now. Because remember when I told you it was Apocalypse Delphi? Remember when I said that it was Delphi Doomsday? That it was the shit hitting the fan? That the season of secrets or revealing of secrets is upon us? That's what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. The chicken's coming home to roost. And so all of this is going to be difficult to digest, but this is what you call the facts rising to the surface. And it's going to be piecemeal, and it's going to come from every direction, and it's going to be hard. It's going to cause a lot of cognitive dissonance. But there's going to be truth here, truth there. It's why you cannot have emotional attachments to this case other than to the two victims, Abby and Libby. That's it. This is not easy. But what he's claiming here is that what Reese Davis says doesn't match the crime scene, therefore it's not credible. Well, no, that's because Reese Davis claims that Keegan Klein claimed that the bodies were moved several times, and you don't want that to be the case. And Reese Davis also claimed that Keegan Klein claimed that the girls were not killed until after the search had begun and all that, and you don't want that to be the case. Okay, 15, that there is zero evidence found in the investigation that Ron Logan and Keegan Klein knew each other or shared or exchanged child pornography. Well, clearly you have not talked to Keegan Klein, because there's plenty of evidence out there in the real world that Keegan Klein told Noe Amos that he knew and was family friends with Ron Logan. Keegan Klein told Holly Lowry the same fucking thing. Okay, so Nick McClellan, how is it that us out here in the YouTubes know more about the connection between Ron Logan and Keegan and Tony Klein than you do? $15, all you who are actually researching this case, you need to look at number 15 and deal with it. Zero evidence that Ron Logan and Keegan Klein knew each other. Excuse me. That's patently false. $16, that the state was able to obtain recent communications between Keegan Klein and various civilians, murder sheet, where Keegan Klein denies the allegations set out by Reese Davis, herein attached to State's Exhibit 4. Furthermore, that in these text communications, Keegan Klein states that Reese Davis is an idiot. I've only talked to him maybe 2 or 3 times. He's one of those guys in prison that tries to write all different prosecutors to get time cuts on people's case. It's laughable. Keegan reiterates the point in several of the responses that he texts. Oh, hold on. hold on. So now Keegan is a credible source. Oh, so Keegan is credible. Okay. Okay. So Keegan is now not a liar and not a compulsive liar like Jerry Holman said. So now Keegan is credible and the things that Keegan says matters. Oh, that it benefits your case. Okay. Oh, really? Well, let's look at some of that. Well, that's pretty offensive, isn't it? Now let's just see here for ourselves. Okay, since we're going to look at some murder sheet uh, manipulating information out of Keegan Klein, really? Okay, let's look at some of this. So here's what is said. Okay, boy, these people here. We wanted to reach out to you to see if you had heard about the most recent filing in the Richard Allen's case. One of Allen's trial attorneys claims that he spoke with Reese Davis and that Reese Davis talked to him about you. According to Davis, you made comments to him indicating that you were involved in the murders, that Ronald Logan was too, and that you had info only the killers would know. Do you have any comment on any of this? And I guess they don't get a response because the very next thing is that they reach out again. Okay, they reach out again. All right, listen to this dirty shit. Hi, Kagan. I'm not sure if you are talking to anyone who keeps you updated about when you are being mentioned in legal filings. But on February 14th, Richard Allen's defense attorney, Andrew Baldwin, filed a motion that referenced you being involved in the Delphi murders. February 12th, 2025, Baldwin met with Reese Davis, inmate who previously talked about Ron Logan confessing to him. Davis told Baldwin he met both Keegan Klein and Ron Logan at Newcastle. Logan confessed to being involved in the Delphi murders with two other people, but never said who they were, although he revealed details only the killer would know. March 2024. Keegan Klein was placed near Delphi, and Keegan Klein asked if Logan mentioned Keegan's name. And Davis began to realize Keegan may have been one of the other two killers. Keegan revealed details of the murders that corroborated details Logan told Davis that only the killers would know. These conversations continued until Richard Allen was found guilty in November 2025. And Keegan told Davis he was relieved he would no longer be a suspect. Keegan told Davis that Richard Allen was not the third killer and Allen was not involved in the murders of Abby and Libby. Keegan told Davis he knew Ron Logan from trading CSAM and sharing burner phones and would meet every 3 to 6 months to show Logan how to use the phones. That's it. Baldwin filed the motion because he said Allen's defense never received 8 letters Reese Davis said he sent to Nick McClelland, Carroll County prosecutor, or a videotaped interview of Davis, and that the defense could have used that information to show that Ron Logan and you were involved in the murders and Richard Allen is innocent. Is this stuff true? How would you describe Reese Davis? Is he unreliable, making stuff up? Apparently, he took a polygraph about what he said Ron Logan confessed to and failed miserably. Some of the details were included in a court filing and did not match up to the case crime scene facts. Thanks. Who's the snitch here? It sounds like this bitch is the snitch, right? Sounds like this bitch is the snitch. Who is this? You see the fuckery that goes on behind the scenes? Who is doing this for Nick McClelland? How ethical is that? Then another one. Let's see. Just a heads up, Holly is back at it, and she plans on contacting you to get details. You're a grown man. Just know anything you say to her will be shared online. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. But who is this bitch? Listen to this one. Just a heads up, Holly is back at it and she plans on contacting you to get details. You're a grown man. Just know anything you say to her will be shared online. Who's protecting Keegan now? I mean, how does that sit with you guys? Sounds a little sus as fuck to me. All right, now here I'm going to read, finally, finally, Chubby replies. Okay, that's the next three. That's these three here. So Chubby says, that dude is an idiot. I've only talked to him maybe 2 times. He's one of those guys in prison that tries to write all different prosecutors and get time cuts on people's case. It's laughable. He also pimps himself out for commissary and drugs. He's a complete loser and drug addict, says the Chomo. Then he replies again. Lol, that's so funny. He's stupid if anyone could see who Reese really is. He writes a bunch of prosecutors on people's cases, saying a bunch of lies to get time cut. I've talked to the dude maybe 2 times. The police know I had nothing to do with that shit, and I have no clue who Ron Logan was, and people told me. Reese goes by Ghost. He's a drug addict loser, the worst of the worst in prison. He pimps himself out for commissary and pills. I wish I would know all of this when he was here, Lo. I needed a good laugh. Thank you. Hope all is good with you and the fires in LA. Be safe, man. Have a good one. Who is he talking to in LA? February 17th. Yeah, I'm not worried about her. Lol. Thanks for the heads up. I've gotten so many messages about Reese. It's so funny. That dude is such a joke. Yeah, funny, huh? Funny. Now, we got some more troll farm. You guys ready for some more? Yeah, it's funny having a chomo. Now, but you notice, here's what I have to say about this before I continue. You see how now all of a sudden, Keegan's so credible. Keegan's so credible. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he says Reese Davis pimps himself out for pills, and he's the worst of the worst, and he lies to get uh, he lies and talks to prosecutors. He's a snitch. He's a joke. He's the worst of the worst in prison. All of a sudden, like, yeah, Keegan's a good guy now. I mean, this is the type of ethical conundrum they put you in. when people are manipulating your minds. Remember, this is a huge PR campaign. It's a mind fuck. It's a psyop. It's a fucking troll farm. It's a fucking cover up of monumental proportions. They never want you to connect this to a group of people, and you can take that to the bank. So here is whatever surrogate for Nick McClellan, troll farm, state actor. Here's your incentivized state actor. Okay, we're going back at it. Yeah, we had trouble believing Reese Davis's story because it didn't sound realistic for you to just go up to this guy and start saying stuff like that. It didn't make any sense. It just didn't sound like something you would do. You mentioned talking to him twice. Did he ask you about Delphi? Do you remember what you talked about with him? How do you feel about getting dragged back into this? Long shot, but do you know of any prosecutors he's written to? People whose cases he's worked on? No worries. If not, just figured we'd ask. So I would say this is either Lauren and her husband, Hidden True Crime, or it's Murder Shits. It's either Lauren, Hidden True Crime, and the weirdo husband, or it's Murder Shits. Are there other people there who might be willing to write to us about Reese Davis if we reached out to them? You see how they're trying to dig up dirt? They're trying to get this fucking dirt going on this Reese Davis to destroy his credibility. If we reached out to them, we will probably talk about this on our show. Is there anything else you feel we should know about him and this story he's telling about you? You should also know he's saying that you told him that you would meet with Ron Logan every few months to help him access child sexual abuse materials. Did you know Logan at all? You see the kind of see you don't believe the kind of shit that goes on with the interference of this case. Two dead girls. Let me ask you this. When have you ever seen any kind of bullshit to this level with over two dead little girls? Have you ever in your life seen this kind of bullshit over two dead little girls? Here's another one. Here's another one. She didn't say much about him. She posted online that your dad was giving you S that must be money. 5K. Okay, 5K. She posted online that your dad was giving you 5K at a time to keep quiet, and that when you got a subpoena, you had her call Rozzy. Tell him if they transported you, you would just plead the fifth. Aside from that, KC lost the Super Bowl. I was so bum. Lol. Random, I know. Okay, here's another one. I appreciate you clearing that up. It was scary with the fires, and the winds were so fast that embers were floating several miles. And normally, residents' neighborhoods are immune to mass fire destruction, but the winds took it to an uncontrollable level. I had to evacuate for a few hours, but my neighborhood is fine. But I know a few people who lost their homes and everything inside. Made me thankful for the little I have. Thank you. That's your LA fuckface. So let's say it's either one of the sextortionist bitches that live in LA or it's Fig Sauce. All right, and finally, Fat Boy responds. So Fat Boy is responding. Okay, he says, No, I'm not sure, but I know that it was about a murder at a Michigan city years ago. Yeah, I talked to him about my lawsuit against ISP due to me getting stabbed. And no, I don't know anyone that would talk. Everyone feels the same about him, though he is a joke. No, I didn't know Ron Logan or anything about that case. If I did, I wouldn't be in prison for 43 years over a few pictures. I lost my best friend being my dad over all these lies all these other people have said about him is crazy. I hate being brought back into all this stuff, especially over the most outlandish lies you could imagine. Oh, okay. Okay, fuckface. Okay. Okay. So all those pictures of those baby girls, including the 3-year-old baby girl getting raped, that's just a few pictures in your mind, fat boy? But Reese Davis is the creep. He's the disturbing one. He's the fucking idiot. Noted. All right. All right. So we got what else we got here? We got someone else saying, "Well, it appears that you were in the spotlight once again." Oh, Skip, I'll tell you, that's either murder shits or Lauren Hidden True Crime. They're both the identical personality. So it's either one of them who's writing this shit. So that's who I'm being. Okay, just so you know. And the other voice, the other voice is Chubby. Okay. Now let's see what we got here. Oh, this is his response. Okay, finally he responds too. Okay, here's the last one from Fat Boy. Yeah, it's so stupid. I can't believe they're putting all the stuff on the news when it's not even true. I wish you could see how stupid this guy is. Lol. I've talked to him maybe 2 times, and it was about me getting stabbed in my lawsuit. It's insane. Hope you're doing good. And we are getting our new tablets next week. Thank God. Great to hear from you. Hope you message me more often. Well, that must be to a girl. And so that shows you the kind of fuckery that's going on behind the scenes with people messaging Keegan, trying to fish out bad info on Reese Davis and trying to gaslight and protect him and all this fuckery with Keegan. But again, apparently Nick McClellan finds Keegan Klein extremely credible. That's the thing. So that was number 16 here in 17, where he's saying, we've got all these text communications, and Keegan reiterates this point in several of his responses. And Keegan is denying Reese Davis's allegations. I mean, seems legit to you? Smells legit? So all of a sudden, Keegan Klein is very credible in second, third hand communications from murder shits and the other weirdos who harass him. Anyway, let's move on. Reese Davis did send several other letters to other attorneys which adds credence to the statements that Keegan Kline made about Reese's behavior. Oh, okay. So yeah, Keegan Kline, totally credible now. Thanks a lot. Thanks for proving our point, McClellan. You're actually like, you're proving our point unintentionally. You're real fucking genius. You're real fucking genius. All right, number 19. That Attorney Baldwin could have requested this information from the Department of Correction to verify or debunk Reese Davis's statements before he made this filing, but chose to file the motion without verifying the allegations. It's not his responsibility. Listen, let's be clear, dickhead. It's your responsibility to give these over to Mr. Baldwin because it contains exculpatory information based upon the timeline and the events that it sets out. Therefore, it's in violation of Brady v. Maryland, and you're fucked. Okay, this is why you're trying to provide this type of gaslight argument. That Attorney Baldwin, by his own admission, interviewed Reese Davis. Yes, he did, and we've covered that thoroughly. And you know what? Maybe we should close out with that. 21, that Attorney Baldwin had every opportunity before trial to depose Reese Davis and had every opportunity to call him as a witness at hearing or trial, but chose not to. Whoa, 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 whoa. Put the brakes on that, sweet cheeks. No, 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 no. Reese Davis did not reach out to him with this very important information till after. You see how he tries to confuse and twist reality? And you think the feds ain't watching? Boy, you're a slime ball. I hate each and every one of you. Fran Gall, Nick McClellan, all the fucking troll farm, Doug Carter, Holman, Liggett, each and every fucking Kathy Shank and her stank ass daughter, every single fucking one of you. Honor bound to protect Ron Logan, she is. That Attorney Andrew Baldwin now wants to present these statements from Reese Davis as irrefutable proof without any evidence or corroboration to back up the statements. Well, that one doesn't even make sense. I mean, you're just being you're fucking idiot. You're trying to beef up. You see, like half this shit in here. This could have been 8 bullet points, but you see how it's 3 times that he's trying to beef up this document so that when Gull goes ahead and adheres to it like he knows she will, that it'll seem credible. You know, this is all PR. Let's be honest. This is all PR. This is all for public consumption, and they know it. They all know it. All right, number 23. That Reese Davis statements to Attorney Andy Baldwin do not match statements that he made in the letters that he sent to the state. In those letters, he does not say Richard Allen is innocent or not involved. Quite the opposite. He says Richard Allen participated in the murders and is guilty. Yeah, and people's minds change over time as they receive new information. It's called a sign of intelligence, is the ability to receive new novel information and then come to new novel conclusions. It's a primary indicator of intelligence, which obviously you lack. That the evidence that contains allegations that the defendant is guilty with no proof of those allegations is not exculpatory evidence and therefore does not have to be turned over to the defense. No, but like I'm saying, the destruction of the timeline and the theory of the crime is exculpatory evidence that does have to be turned over. Because if those girls' bodies were moved over the course of the night, like he's claiming, it defeats your narrative and blows apart your timeline. See, trying to argue it's not exculpatory, it's a gaslight. Like that wasn't your conclusion to make. Like it wasn't up to you to decide whether it was or not. It was potentially, in the way my mind works, it's potentially exculpatory. You should probably fucking hand it over so you don't get your ass handed to you by appeals or Supreme Court. And you're lucky you don't get disbarred for this. You just may. Now, here's another rich one. You want to learn another rich one? Because this shit, like I say, it only gets worse. It only gets worse. Number 25, that there is not a video interview of Reese Davis that exists within discovery or is within the state's possession. Oh, so you destroyed the video recording of the interview with Reese Davis. So can we add that to the 70? Is it now 71 days? Is it now 71 days? So, okay, 71 days of destroyed interviews by the state. So you destroyed the evidence of the interview with Reese Davis, just like you destroyed the third letter. So you can't find the interview. Whoops. You can't find that third letter. Whoops. I wonder what was said in that third letter and in that interview. Number 26, that even if this was evidence the defense wished to use at trial, it was not newly discovered evidence. The defense knew of Reese Davis, had interviewed him, had subpoenaed him for trial, but chose not to present the evidence to court. Well, who knows about the timing of all that? But that doesn't recuse you from the responsibility of your Brady obligation. You were obligated to hand that over. No matter what the defense did or did not do. Whatever they did or did not do lends to ineffective assistance of counsel, okay, which is also pertinent and relevant for appeal. But it sounds to me like you willfully committed Brady violations and the defense provided ineffective assistance. So it seems like he has a double whammy coming his way. Double whammy. That's going to be the new catchphrase. Put it in the chat, somebody. Double whammy. Double whammy. Double whammy. Ineffective assistance because defense fucked up majorly. Brady violations because Nick McClelland's corrupt. Double whammy. Thank you, Olivia. Look, a new viewer who I have not noticed before. Welcome, Olivia, to the channel, and thank you, Lee with Love, Jean, and Christina. Yeah, double whammy. It's a double whammy. Ineffective assistance from the defense, Brady violations from the prosecution. This guy needs an actual constitutional fucking trial. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there. Let me stop. Is everybody enjoying their Friday night? I do apologize. Today it's a difficult show. It's a tough subject matter. It's hard facts, and it's not always going to be an easy ride, right? You're not here for an easy ride, and if you are, I apologize. I can't do that for you. All right, let's see. 27. Further, as the state has mentioned in previous responses, any information pertaining to Ron Logan or Keegan Klein falls under the state's motion in limine concerning third-party motive. The defense had 3 days to present evidence to meet their burden for third-party motive. They mentioned Ron Logan but failed to meet their burden with the court. They chose not to present this evidence in that hearing because it wasn't available yet. They also did not present this evidence when they renewed their motion during trial because it wasn't available. This now seems to be an effort by the defense to use this motion to circumvent their burden concerning third-party motive. No. See, you had a judge who was wiping your ass, who was breastfeeding you, burping you, changing your diapers, and paving the way for you to have a victory, which you all managed to do by sheer force of this entire state of Indiana. It's called corruption. This proves that the third party motive regarding Keegan Kline, who actually placed himself and his father at the crime scene in these murders, and Ron Logan, who did the same, should have been allowed in trial, should have been allowed in front of the jury, and that your judge committed violations, and you should all be disbarred and permanent and probably jailed. "28, that none of the evidence that the state has gathered from Reese Davis is exculpatory, nor is it discovery." Is that about the third time you've repeated that? You see what I mean about you see what I mean about uh the beefing up of this fucking filing? It's about the third or fourth time that he's repeated that. And as I will repeat it the third or fourth time, yes, it does include exculpatory information or evidence because it blows up the state's theory of the crime and the timeline. And if those girls were killed after dark when the search was ongoing, then that means Richard Allen probably ain't do it. 29, that this motion seems yet another attempt by Attorney Baldwin to push a certain narrative to the public, specifically the online world. Isn't that what you're doing with this filing? I mean, like I said at the beginning, in the introduction of the show, seems like you're doing that with this filing. He seems to file these types of motions with very bold allegations that he neither verifies the information nor does he present any evidence to back up the statements. I would tend to disagree with that. He posted all the fucking evidence of it, including what? All the notes, an affidavit, and that thing was thick with evidence. We went through it, and we'll go through it again just to rub it in your face. This is unverified. This is thin. This is thin. You've deleted a video. You've deleted a letter. You've put two letters because you think they make Baldwin look. The letter that said Baldwin tried to have Reese lie, he put that letter out because it makes Baldwin look bad. And the one that says Richard Allen was trading child porn with Keegan and Ron Logan is because it makes Richard Allen look bad. So both of these letters you release with this piece of shit, you're trying to use them publicly to make Andy Baldwin and Richard Allen look bad for public consumption. But you've deleted that third letter with it, whatever it might have said, and that video recorded interview, whatever it might have said. And you just add that to the 70 days of deleted evidence and the fingerprints and the other DNA and that other male DNA and the semen and whatever the fuck else that you've deleted from this trial. And Daniel Pearson. Whatever happened to Daniel Pearson? And whatever happened to the Abbey on the Bridge photo? And why didn't you ever take those family cell phones to try to verify their fucking stories that don't make sense? Ooh, those are hard questions. Hard questions. But this is supposed to be some bombshell that you're dropping. And you're going to further gaslight because listen to this one. You guys want to go out with a bang? You know, we're going to go out with like a, what do you call it? Shaving a haircut. You know what shaving a haircut means? Bop, 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 bup, bup. Shaving a haircut ending. Look, that it is unfortunate that the motions by the defense in this case would have come to the point where they present statements from an inmate as fact without any legal or evidentiary support. Oh, really, McClellan? Because, excuse me, sir, what is this from Keegan Klein? I seem to remember that in this very filing, you have this exhibit right here. You have this, where is it? You have this exhibit right here in which Murder Sheet is milking information out of Keegan Klein. And we're supposed to take, so you're presenting statements from an inmate as if they're fact without any legal or evidentiary support, which is Reese Davis is lying. Ho 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 ho. I'm Keegan Klein. Oh, really? Tell us more. Tell us more, Keegan. You're so awesome. You're a wonderful example of a human being. You're so credible. Thank you so much for Keegan. Tell us all about that bad guy, Reese Davis. Please, Keegan. Yeah, it is unfortunate that motions by the state in this case have come to a point where they present statements from an inmate, Keegan Klein, as fact without any legal or evidentiary support. I agree, McClellan. Deep, 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 deep. 2 pence. And y'all, that was the state's response to the defendant's motion to preserve and produce specific evidence. Can you believe it? Good point. Good point, Captain America. Oh, is it 2 bits, not 2 pence? Beep, 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 beep. I'm telling you, this is the greatest cover up of all time. It is. This goes beyond Epstein. This goes beyond JFK. This is a cover up of epic proportions. Now, I'd like to ask you to consider why would that be over the murders of 2 little girls? It seems innocuous enough, right? Seems like it should be pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. Just 2 little girls in Indiana, small town, idyllic little town. Delphi, Indiana is a small town. Should be nothing, right? But you're going to have a cover up that's on the level of JFK, Martin Luther King, fucking Epstein, and all of these others. Well, hey, seems like if you were covering up for a international child predation, occult uh, trafficking type group that reaches out in and has tentacles into the most highest uh, levels or a strata of society, maybe you would see something like that. I mean, remember, you may not remember, but my community page remembers. Um, there was a porn industry, there was a horror industry, there was money being made on the dark web right on out of North Central Indiana, where you just happen to have Abby and Libby murdered in this way with allegations of, oh, I don't know, drop boxes, tentacles, snuff films, um, and you are seeing a major cover up with things that just are totally irrational or rife with cognitive dissonance, like the changing of the sketches in 2019, all this bullshit gaslighting of Doug Carter over the years and saying it's the embodiment of evil and it's like da 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 and that you got all these fuckers related to the family doing all the catfishing and the social media posting, and there's the duping delight by all the fucking family in the first days, and it's just like one thing after the other. You got thousands of bikers show up, you got the pedophile symbolism, you got all these fucking weird creeps who become like YouTube creators pushing the PR talking points after it, and a lot of them have occult ties or sex trafficking ties, and it's all fucking weird, and people threatening to kill each other, people dropping like flies around this case, people dying. There's a troll farm that's going after people, making people committing suicide. It's just unfucking believable. Doug Carter says, yeah, when we catch the guy, we're going to have to go back and hire 70 or 80 people to go through every single aspect with a fine-tooth comb and go everything all over again. Question, Doug. Um, what happened to that? I kind of noticed that you didn't hire 70 or 80 people to go back through every aspect of the case after Richard Allen's arrest. Kind of seems like something you wouldn't just say. So how do you explain that? What did that mean when you said that so clearly? We're a little at a loss as to how to ever find you credible again. Did you never intend for anyone to be arrested? So that just was something that sounded good to the reporter's ears. So you were playing this tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies game with him because it sounded nice to his ears. It was pleasing to the television to say, oh, we're going to hire 70, 80 people and go through everything with a fine tooth comb. We're going to catch that killer who may be in this room, who's under blah, 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 in the tentacles in the shack. And I mean, the thing is, dude, you never made anything make sense. You never made anything make sense. You had the sketches didn't make sense, and you were all conflicting about the sketches. It's the same person. It's not the same person. The one are no longer a person of interest. Now you got this new face, and the new guy is the guy that killed is responsible for the deaths, and it's not. But to put them together, take them behind, and who's behind it, who's between it, and then tentacles and the shack, and we're gonna have to hire 70, 80 people, but then we didn't. We got social media. We got Keegan Klein. We got Anthony Shaws. But no, it's not connected. But yes, he lured the girls out there. But no, he wasn't involved in them getting killed. And you guys have ensured that this will go down as the most despicable group of investigators and state actors that has ever been known in the history of true crime. Like, that's the legacy you leave, Doug Carter, Jerry Holman, Brian Harshman, Nick McClellan, all of you. The legacy you're leaving is a shame. And guess what? Just this past week, and I'd like to put this announcement out because it's truth. And that's what I do on this channel, whether people like it or not. I don't care if you like it. You want some more truth? Just this week. Remember, my birthday was Friday. I mean, on last Friday's show, I announced my birthday, and we had a great Friday. We had a great birthday show on Friday. That was just a week ago. Well, since then, just this week, I've had several locals, let's say 3. I've had several locals contact me out of the blue and tell me things you would not believe. Even the locals are absolutely disgusted and embarrassed with this investigation and the way that these people have behaved. And I got one who even said, and these patties. And they said, I cannot fucking stand the patties. They are dirty as all get. Do you want me to read that one? Because, see, you guys pretend that I don't get new inboxes on an ongoing basis. I mean, the shit that people say to me, you know what? I don't even feel like reading it. I don't even feel like reading it. Just this week, three Delphi locals reached out to me to say how shamed and embarrassed and furious they were about this outcome of this, and one of them even saying, and can't fucking stand those patties. But you want the public to believe, because remember last week I was saying how the thing we're noticing now in all the comment section, have you noticed everyone's turning the comments off when it comes to the patties or the Delphi, or they're all turning the comment sections off, or they're deleting all the comments because they're getting ratioed, blasted out of the water when they're on these comment sections. You know why? Because the public is seeing for themselves. The public is seeing for themselves all of this out here, and the public is like furious at this outcome right now, where this is. And I'm seeing it in all the comment sections, and I even have people contacting me. In other words, you've not only lost the public hearts and minds, you're losing the locals' hearts and minds. Because you did the wrong thing. You didn't do it right. See, the thing, you should have done this right. Just a moment, please. All right, y'all. Well, what I like to say is, I did reference or refer to it earlier. I'm doing a little fundraiser tonight for those of you who can, and I know Mark gave a large contribution. I want to thank Mark Ellis so much for the contribution, and also Chantal O'Connor and Jennifer Hoff for the contributions. And but I'm doing a huge fundraiser tonight because, like I said, I have a new computer that I've purchased. I have to get a new interface, and so it's all paid for. Okay, let me say that. So I got to say it ahead of time. It's all now paid for. But if you'd ever like to contribute to the channel, please contribute to the channel. Please hit the Cash App, the Buy Me a Coffee, the Super Chats, any way you want to contribute. We have all these pathways. I would love if you contribute to the channel. It will help get me back to even on this on these large purchases. But I am so happy to have done it, because I think by Monday, I'll tell you where it is now. I have one more cable to purchase, so I got the gear now. So that's where we are. So I have to go and purchase one cable. I told Alex about this morning. I believe it was this morning or yesterday. But I told Alex I need one cable. That I would have used it tonight. I would have had the new setup going tonight, but I didn't have the one cable I need. That's the final link in the chain. So I got to get the one cable, but that's the last thing I need to get my new setup going. So hopefully the very next show I do will be on the new setup and I'll have the new cable. Because the cable, I just have to go run and get it here in town. So that's my whole deal, is that I got to go get a cable and then we're good to go. But if you'd like to help out with the acquisition of all this new stuff and stuff, that'll be great, because what it's going to do is all the shows are going to be so much better from now on. A better camera. I'll have a better screen to see my comments and myself on. And I have a better computer to be able to handle making videos, which I rarely do anymore, because this little laptop that I've been working on ever since I started cannot handle any task anymore. I'm actually surprised that it continues to do this. But it's been a great run. I literally did get my worth out of this computer that I'm on now, because boy, I've done so many hours of live streams and also videos on this thing. I'm amazed that it's still alive. But I buy Apple products. So this is a MacBook, like I said, about a 2012. So this thing, it's still ticking all these years later. And so anyway, so hopefully this is the last go for that old laptop. And the next show, which should be Sunday or Monday, will be boom on the new computer. And that'll be exciting. So thank you for everyone who has contributed. And if you're on the replay, please feel free to contribute. I would appreciate. It's my last of my fundraiser for the computer, because I did it. I mentioned it about 2 months ago, and eventually I got enough to buy half. And then since then, I gathered enough to pay for the rest of it. So it's all paid now. And that's my situation. And so thank you for supporting the channel. And we're all good to go with all of that technical stuff. And anyway, I appreciate you for being here. This was a very interesting show, and to be honest with you, we're sort of left hanging, right? We're sort of hanging. We're left hanging. I think there's some credibility to this. Now, the things is, it's like a puzzle, right? They're pieces of the puzzle, but some of these won't fit, but some will. So I think there are some credible pieces to this, and some are not. So I'm very interested to see what happens. As I mentioned, as time is going on, more and more and more and more facts keep coming, and they will keep coming. They will keep coming. And so never think that you have a handle on this, because remember, getting your emotions tied into this, it's a bad idea. It's really a bad idea, because this one thing's for sure about this case, it's surrounded by liars. People have been lying. These stories have never made sense from anyone. They've all lied. They've all covered for each other. They've covered each other's asses. They've covered their own asses. They've lied. They've misled. They provided fake screenshots, fake receipts, fake evidence. They fake timelines, false alibis. It's been lie after lie after lie after lie. And you've got dead people around this case. Never forget that. We'll go more into that in the future, but you can't get your emotions all twisted into this case, because it's so convoluted that you're likely going to get hurt. So try to keep a level head and detach from it, and think that I guarantee you when the truth comes into focus, it's going to be something different than any of us have ever put together. But it ain't going to be what the state has handed to you. And so we really are in a conundrum because you know what the truth ain't, but you don't know what the truth is. So it's kind of hard to get from point A to point B. But I think we're all pretty clear that the it's going to be something very different. And for me, from the most zoomed out perspective, it's that it's multiple perpetrators. It's a more complicated timeline. And I guess I'll leave it at that because multiple perpetrators immediately means people are still out there that have something to hide. And remember, I've always said, in my opinion, we have such a wide window. We have from the 12th to the 14th. That's a wide window. It appears you have anywhere between, I don't know, 5 to 15 individuals involved in this, in my opinion. We know you've got a whole bunch of methamphetamine. You've got child predators. You've got dark web. You've got money changing hands. You've got a whole bunch of PR, a whole bunch of covering of asses, a whole bunch of false narratives. It's highly concerning. And like I've said, how could anything be this complex when it's supposed to be about the murders of 2 little girls? And then the state doesn't investigate any of the red flags. Does no one find that alarming? There's so many people that have put themselves involved in these murders, state never followed up on. And none of you find it odd that we still don't have a shred of the evidence? I mean, keeping in mind that the discovery was sanitized before the defense even got their eyes on it. So even the defense has never had the evidence. We've never had the evidence. But now, as of February 28, 2025, we don't even have the trial exhibits. And the judge is acting like a fucking maniac about that. Right? She's acting like a maniac about the trial exhibits. It could be as simple as this. Put them all on a website for download. Let everybody have at it. And all emails will stop. Everyone wasting your time asking for it will stop. Everyone's questions will be answered. You could solve a whole lot of problems. Just boom. A mass release of all trial exhibits. There's a reason. There's also, like I said at the beginning, there's a reason they're trying to close out the estates of those girls. There's a reason they didn't investigate anyone they should have investigated. There's a reason they allowed this troll farm to run around controlling this narrative for 7 years, threatening to kill everybody and possibly killing a few. It's not for nothing. So, before I close, let me say this. Jurors, if you were a juror in this trial, please make your voice heard. Let your voice be heard. Reach out to someone. Reach out to me. My email is theprofcontact@gmail.com. We'll put it in the chat for you. Reach out to the defense attorneys. Your role as a citizen juror is so crucial to justice in the United States of America and to the operation of the Constitution that we truly do love you regardless. And we know that you were kept ignorant, you were misled, you were traumatized, and you were abused. And we know that a lot of this information may be new to you. If you've dug into my channel at all, it's probably all new to you. Remember, they kept you deaf, dumb, and blind so that you would railroad and convict Richard Allen, find him guilty. And they achieved their mission. And I see you just as much of a victim as anyone else in this. But I think it's important that you allow your voice to be heard, because so far we've only allegedly heard from one victim. I mean, a juror. And surely with 12 of you out there and a few alternates, we should have heard from more than one of you. And so we'd love to hear from you. So for any of you jurors who are out there, please do some reflection, decide who you want to trust, and reach out to us and let your voice be heard. Because it's very clear that this man's constitutional rights, whether he's guilty or not, technically, his constitutional rights were basically non-existent and still are. And that right there is a point of major concern. And so I would just ask you to consider that you can offer some insight onto this constitutional process, and we would love to hear your insight. So I would like to thank everyone who was here. Those of you who are in the chat, if I yelled at you, please understand it's not meant with malice. When I'm trying to do a presentation and get through with a clear and sober mind these things that are put forth, it's hard to be distracted. So please, if I yelled at you, just suck it up, come back later. We'll get along. Everyone who was there and stuck it out, thank you for sticking it out. I know it was a rough one, and it's something else. It's hard to get through. But we got through this one, and it was pretty interesting to me. And I think it's going to be something we can continue to reflect on for some time. Remember, a lot of this is coming from Keegan Kline. And here's the thing with Keegan Kline. He might be a liar, but everything ain't going to be a lie, especially when he's talking to people he trusts. And the thing about the things that Reese Davis was saying is identically some of the things that Keegan's friend Holly was saying, which means and also some of the things that Noe was saying. So, which means he's told the same things to several people that he trusted. So take that for what it's worth. And hey, I'm still calling for a RICO. We need a federal investigation into this investigation or lack thereof, because this is not kosher. There's something that's not right here. There's something that is clearly off with all of this. And we really do hope and pray that some higher authority will come on in and take a look at things and just give the public the confidence that things were done right. And if things were not done right, give the public the confidence that things are going to be addressed in the right way so that it doesn't happen again. This can't continue. Crimes have been committed. That's for sure. Anyhow, I want to give a special shout out to my buddies, Alex Voorhees, Noe Amos, Josh Forpitz, Christine, Erica. Shit, did I say Josh Forpitz yet? And Julie Melvin, Skip Jansen, my most awesome mods. That's Heather Brown, Amy, Kayla, Aaron Town, Rick Snay. All of you out there who stuck through for these little girls. That's why we're here. Okay. It's not Richard Allen. It's not Buff Patties. It's not the troll farm. It's not the mothers or the fathers. Nope. Sorry. We're here. There's only two victims, and that's Abby and Libby. We're here for them. So anyhow, happy Friday to everyone. And if you're on the replay, remember, hit that like on the way out and leave some comments down below. All right. So we love you. Hug your kids, hug your wife. Also, down in the chat on the way out, please leave some comments. And we'll see you next time. I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but I'm tired. My throat's killing me. So I'm getting out of here. But God bless, and thanks for sticking it out. Happy Friday. The Prof's Friday late night. McDouche Pickle at it again. And there you go. It's all yours. Good night, folks.